Hi, my name is Michael Flickinger, and I would like to introduce you to the newest Little Giant ladder, the next generation of ladders. It's called the Revolution. And the thing I like about it is that we've changed a few things on it. First of all, we've made it lighter than the original Little Giant, about 20% lighter. And then instead of those traditional pull tabs on the side that you would have to line up with every rung, we've made these traditional rock locks. And all you have to do is just hit these rock locks, raise the inside of the ladder up, and I'll just pop them back in and they'll lock into place automatically. Just open it up. Now I've got myself a 7-foot A-frame. But unlike traditional A-frames that give you one size, this ladder actually has 4 sizes inside of it. Has a nice wide base to it, so you don't get that rocking back and forth feeling as you're climbing a ladder. Nice, steady, solid ladder. One thing that we did take away from this ladder is that traditional spreader bar that's always in the middle of ladders that usually gives the strength to the ladder. And when that breaks, what happens? The strength of the ladder breaks with it. We actually make this ladder with an aircraft grade aluminum, and we have these 1,200-pound rated pins up top here, so we don't have to have anything in between. So now we can straddle furniture, a hedge outside. If you have a window right next to the hedge, you just go over the hedge and get up and clean your windows. We have a double-sided ladder, which means there's steps on both sides. So 2 people can be up on it at the same time. OSHA and ANSI approved for 600 pounds in the A-frame position, so 300 pounds per side. And it's kind of nice to have a ladder that has steps on both sides. The other day when I was trying to take care of a ceiling fan, I was kind of in trouble and I just needed a little bit of help. And my wife could climb up the other side and just hold on to that fan as I was finishing to fix it. So it's nice to have steps on both sides. Now, if you ever need to work on things like sloping ground, how about rampways? How about driveways and stairs, those pesky stairs? It's one of the few ladders that you can actually put on stairs. You can change the lights above the stairs, you can hang pictures on the wall, and you can finally do it safely. Little Giant ladders in the staircase position. Bring it right back down. Now another issue that I run into is if you ever have to put a ladder right up against the wall or into a tight corner, what's happening? As you're climbing the ladder, the further from the work you're going. So you end up having to reach back to get your job done. Let's solve that problem. And I'm just going to bring the ladder down by 1 rung. So now I'm nice and close to the wall. But this time I climb the other side of the ladder, and now I face my work. But I want you to know that there's still a bit of a tilt to it, so it's still being supported by itself, so it doesn't have to mark up your walls at all. Let's put it back as a A-frame ladder. Now let's talk about getting on the roof of your house, cleaning the rain gutters, or maybe washing the windows of a 2-story house. Pretty easy to do. All I have to hit is those locks in the center. And I'm just going to walk it out. Now watch those locks. They're going to lock in automatically. And as soon as they do, then I'm just going to stair step the ladder all the way back up. So there it is. It's a 15-foot extension ladder now. Notice it has a nice wide base on the bottom here for extra safety and stability. Biggest problem with traditional extension ladders, what are they? They're skinny all the way through, aren't they? So extra safety and stability built right into this ladder. Now, of course, I can adjust it 1 foot at a time, completely adjustable, or I can let it come all the way down. And now I can do the exact same thing at this top part, but I'm not going to use the traditional hooks and ropes and pulleys. Notice how easy those rock locks are to lock into place. Now, when I owned an extension ladder, and I mean it, when I used to own an extension ladder, I don't have one even around anymore. This is what it looked like in my garage. It took up half the garage wall. If I ever had to take it into the house, I had to worry about marking up the walls. Or if I had to take it over to the kids' house, it would have to sit out in the back of my truck and hang over. And I'm sure you've been going down the freeway and you've seen ladders on the side of the road, haven't you? Well, the Little Giant, this is how we store it. This is how we put it in the back of a truck. In fact, this size will fit in the back of my car really easy. Well, just when you thought this ladder doesn't do anything else, we're going to hit all the locks, bring the inside of that ladder out. Oops, open that up. There's one trestle. And how I make the second trestle is I just grab these trestle brackets, and you see what I'm about to do. I'm about to make the second trestle. And so now I have two 1,000-pound rated trestles. So with the two of them, I can make my own scaffolding system. Now I have used a piece of wood in the past, and every time you take a step, it kind of gives you a nice little bounce. So I do prefer to use our own scaffolding system that's built for the Little Giant ladder. And here it is. This is my 6 to 9. I do have two larger ones. I have an 8 to 13 and a 10 to 16. So just depending on how long you need it. But what I love about these planks is they have these little hooks on it. So what happens is, instead of losing some distance on each side of the plank, you've got these hooks that allow you to use the full length of the ladder. Could you imagine all the work that you could get done? Instead of getting up and down on a ladder, just get up, get it done, get right back down. So we got a great price on our planks, and of course they're built for the Little Giant ladders. Same material, the aircraft grade aluminum. Now let's put it right back together, and it's quite easy. All I have to do is just grab those trestle brackets and release them. Just set them over there, and they do come with the ladder, the trestle bracket. Set that to the side. And all I have to do is just get to the same angle as the one trestle. Slide it right back in. You see how easy that was? Now I do the exact same thing on this other side. And again, you see how well these new rock locks work. Just going to hit that, lock it into place, raise it up, lock it in. Now the first accessory we have for this ladder is the work platform. And it gives you a place to put your paint and tools on the ladder, which I love that idea. Now on traditional step ladders, I don't know why, but they always make the shelf way down here. And so you have to reach over the top of the ladder to get to your accessories, to your paint and whatever you need. With a Little Giant, you can put that work platform at the very top to hold your paint and tools. Now on those traditional step ladders, on those little shelves, they always say something, don't they? They always say never to stand on them. Little Giant is the exact opposite. Just put it on here, leave it out of the way, run up my ladder. Instead of being up here on the arches of my feet, busting my shins against the run, trying to balance myself, hanging on for dear life, slide that back out. Now I'm standing on a 350-pound rated flat surface. I can actually face my work. I can let go, use both hands. One of the scariest things I've ever done in my life was I was up on a ladder trying to balance myself and a chainsaw at the same time. Take one of those out, I'm on a flat surface. Get back down, just tap it out of the way, step off the ladder. Work platform. The next is kind of like the work platform, but it's actually called a project tray, and it's made a little bit different. It's got some holders, and it'll hold the traditional round paint, the new square paint buckets that have been coming out recently, and quart size. It's magnetized to hold your bolts, and of course it'll sit right at the very top to do that for you. It has some bungee cords to hold your extension cords. So we've got the project tray. Next thing we got is the leg leveler, and I really like this idea. Have you ever been doing this outside? Outside and you're trying to level the ladder, and I know what guys are doing. They're using a piece of wood or brick, whatever they can find in their yard, trying to balance it out. And they pray that they don't slide off of that piece of wood while you're up on that ladder. Attach it, adjust it, tighten it back down, you're back to a safe, secure ladder. That makes sense, to have a leg leveler with your ladder. And of course, this will even work in the extended position. So we have a leg leveler as well. We also have a wingspan that holds you away from the building, so you're not feeling like you're standing straight up as an extension ladder. And I believe, last but not least, especially after you've done a long day of working around the house, when you want to move that ladder back into the garage, instead of having to pick it up and carry it, all you have to do is just wheel it around. Now, even though it's a light 31 pounds for a 15-foot extension ladder, we still made that nice and easy with those wheels. Now, this is the Model 17, and it traditionally takes care of a single-story house. We also have a Model 22 that'll put you 19 feet in the air, and it usually takes care of a typical two-story house. And we also have a heavier-duty built Model 26 if you have one of those 2.5-story houses. Now, traditionally what happens is people will go out and they'll run out to their local hardware store and buy a ladder for their specific project. So if they're doing a small painting project or changing some lights around the house, they'll run out and buy a little ladder about that size. And see if I'm right, but I think they cost about $35. And of course, that's just that cheap, flimsy aluminum, have about a 200-pound rating on it. Of course, they run into another project, and they need a larger A-frame, and that'll cost them about $100. Of course, it's still that cheap, flimsy aluminum, isn't it? And then if you need to get on your roof, you run out and buy an extension ladder, just a decent extension ladder, a decent extension ladder that'll hold my weight. They're about $300. You start adding that up, you're up to $400 for just 3 basic ladders. The industry statistics tell us that people will spend $600 on ladders, they just never do it at once. They just keep adding to a ladder collection and filling up their garage full of ladders. Of course, none of them will work on staircases. None of them, most of them won't have steps on both sides to hold 2 people. And where do you end up storing all those ladders? Not in that compact place. But you want to know the big one? And I've been in this industry long enough, and I've been out talking to people about the Little Giant ladders, and they love to pull their pant leg up and show me their scars from falling off a ladder. But if you ever have one accident with the cheapest ladder you own, that could oftentimes be the most expensive ladder. So instead of having a whole collection of ladders, have the best ladder in the world. Little Giant is here for the best price we've ever had.